Hello guys, my name is William Cookie, and in this video I'm going to show you how I created this fantastic design that I found on Dribble. So the final design was not exactly the same, but it was close enough. So this is the design here. We have this like a home page here, we have the music page here, and we have a list of all the music here. Okay, so let me close that and get it out of the way. So this is the app that I created. So it has that home screen here, as you can see. It has the bottom navigation bar over here at the bottom, and once you click on music, for example, you get this image here of the thumbnail of the song, then a list of lyrics here, and then you get this slider and this row over here displaying the audio controls to play the audio or stop the audio or pause the audio. So once I click on here, on this play button here, it plays that audio here, and it displays the time here, the time elapsed, and also the total length of the audio. So finally, the other thing that I did was display these albums here. So when I click on the album, for example, as you can see, it gets the image of the album here and also a list of all the songs that are in that particular album. And then you can click on one of these play buttons here. So you can see we get that player here at the bottom. And if you listen closely, you hear the audio is playing at the bottom. And then I can click this to pause. I can click this to stop. And I can click on this X here to eliminate that player entirely. So to do that, first of all, to create this application, first of all, I had to go to the main.dat. In the main.dat, what I did is that I changed the title to music, and then I changed the debug show checked mode banner to false, and then I went to the color scheme. I changed the seed color to colors.black and changed the brightness to brightness.dark. Also changed the home property to home screen. So if I go to screens and then open the home screen, now this is the home screen. The home screen basically displays this page that you see right here, and the home screen is a stateful widget. And the first thing in this home screen is the app bar. So the app bar, first of all, it has the title that says music, and if you look closely at that title, you can see it is using a different font. But what I did is that I added a package called Google Fonts. If I go to pubspec.yaml file, here I added the packages that I used. So I first installed the Google Fonts package. I installed the audio players package that I use for playing the audio, and I also installed Flutter Riverpod package, which is a state management package that I used somewhere in the application. After installing the Google Fonts package, I created a folder called utils, and I created a file called styles.dat. And inside here, this is where I created some styles for some of the text that I was going to use. I created this K app bar title style. So this was the style that was going to be applied for the app bar titles. As you can see, the color is white, the font of 22, and the font weight of bold. I also created another style for the headline style. So this was for these ones for like top artists, popular music, and several albums. I gave it a color of white, a font size of 20, and a font weight of semi-bold, that is W600, and one for normal style. This one I actually did not use this one, but if I was to use a normal text style, this one was the one that I would have used. Anyway, going back to the home screen, I set the title of the app bar. I added this icon, I added this image here using the leading. So what leading does is that it takes a widget, and the widget that I used here was a container with a height of 20 and a width of 20, and inside that container was a child, and the child was an image that I selected from my assets folder. So in the project, I created a folder called assets. Inside that folder, I added two folders, one called audio and one called images. Inside the one for audio, I added the different audios that I found somewhere on the internet. I'm going to link it somewhere in the description. And I created another folder called images. So in the first folder in the images is the albums. So these are the images of the albums. They are the ones that you see here. Okay, these are the different images. The secondly was the artists. So we needed one for artists, and you can see we have the different artists here and their different images. And we needed one for the songs. So each and every one of these songs, they have their own images, and they are the ones that you can see over here. So that was basically the assets folder. And to ensure that they are reflected and they are usable in the application, you have to go to the pubspec.yaml file, and inside here I initialized every one of those assets and the folders that I added in the assets folder. Okay, so that was how I was able to use this image here. All right, and after that is the actions. So the actions are the icons that appear at the very end of the app bar, and basically here we had the search icon. So it was a icon button with the icon of search, and it was inside of a container to give it that border that you see over here. As you can see, we have a light border at the end. So that is what I did here with the border.o with a color of white 12, a width of 1, and a text style and a style of border.solid. Okay, so after that we have this part of the application here, but at the bottom we have the floating action button. The floating action button is this one that you see here: the home, the cue music, the favorite, the account, and also the settings. So I did not implement anything after that, but of course if I press on this favorite action, as you can see now, it changes. So they change when each and every one of them is selected, but I did not add any other functionality after that. But that was basically how you create a floating action button. So, but the main part of the application was, first of all, the home banner. The home banner is this part that you see here. So this home banner, I created it inside the widgets folder. So I created another folder called widgets, and inside here there is a home banner widget. So this is the home banner widget, and the home banner widget, first of all, is a container with a height of 170. That is the height of this container, and it has a gradient. As you can see, it starts with the color of black and it ends with the color of orange. So that is what happened here. I gave it a gradient of linear gradient, and the colors, which is a list of colors. The first color is colors.black, and the second color is colors.orange.shade 300. That gave it that color over there. And the child of that container is a row. So the first child of a row was the column. So it is this column that is here with the update playlist, the trending today, and these buttons here. And the other element of the entire row was the image, was this image here at the bottom. So that was basically the home banner widget. Alright, so the second widget was the type selector. The type selector was this particular widget here with the streaming, music, story, and podcast. So if I was to open the type selector widget, first it has a list of all the 4 strings that were used, and it is inside a sized box with a height of 40 and a list view builder, such that every item in that list view builder, we are going to return a container. So, but the first element that you can see here, the live streaming, the first element of that list, it is a little different. It has a container with a border, and it has a color which has a text of red. So that is what I did over here. And for the rest of the items, I created a container, and this container, its color changes based on whether the item is selected or not. So when it is selected, I gave it a color of white, and when it is not, I give it a color of black. And also the colors of this text that appear here, they change accordingly. So when I click on story, as you can see now, story is white with a color of black, and when I do podcast and so on. Okay, so that was basically the type selector widget. Alright, so the other widget was top artists. So if I can open the top artists widget, the top artist is this container here. Okay, so it was basically a sized box with a height of 120. Element of that column is a row. So this row has a text that says top artists, and also an icon filter list outlined that you see over here. And to give them that space between them, you use the main axis alignment dot space between, so that they can be placed the way that you see here. And the next element of that column was the list view builder. So this list view builder was for displaying these particular images of these particular artists and their names. The list view builder, first of all, it gets the artist.length. So these are the total artists in the application, and each and every artist we return a column. The column, the first element of that column is the container that has the image right here, and also the name of the artist. I did not connect this app to any database whatsoever. All the data that I used in this application, I created them manually by hand. But if we go to the models class here, we can see it has three classes. That is the album, the song, and also the artist. So for the album, we have it has these attributes, that is the title, image, artist, and also a list of songs. For the artist, we have the name, the image, a list of all the songs, and also a list of the albums. And finally, the song, it has the title of the song, the artist, the number of views, the release date, the thumbnail, the lyrics, and also the string audio. Okay, so I also created this folder called data here with the data.dat file. So here, this is where I created all the songs. You can see here, this is song 1, for example, with a title, an artist, the number of views, the release date, the thumbnail, the audio, and also the lyrics. Okay, so that were the songs. Okay, I also created now a list with the song list with all the songs. I also created the albums. So every album has a title, an image, artist, and also a list of songs. Here I initialized a variable with a list of all the albums in the application. And also I finally created an artist. So every artist has a name, then image, a list of all the songs, and also a list of albums. Okay, and I also initialized the variable here with all the artists that are in that I have just created here. Okay, so that was basically the data and the model classes that I created here. All right, so the third element in this home screen was the popular music. Popular music was this that you see here. So if I open the popular music, so it's also a sized box with a height of 200 to give it that particular height. That sized box is a column, and the first element of that column is this row. So the row is similar to the top artist one, where we have that text popular music and also an icon that I have them spaced between, so that we can have that look that you see here. And then an expanded, which has a list view builder. So this one is for displaying the different songs that we have with the artist names. So the item count is the song list.length, and in each and every song I want to display a column. The first element of that column is a container. That container returns an image at the end. Okay, so the child of that container is an image with the song.thumbnail. So it's basically the image of that particular song. Yeah, and the next element of that column is a text widget that displays the song.title, as you can see here, Flickr, for example. And the third element is the song.artist, as you can see, I have Biba right there. So that was basically the popular music. Okay, going back to home screen, we have several albums. So these several albums is this widget that you see at the bottom here. Again, is very similar to the popular music, where we have that row here, and we have this expanded with a list view builder inside of it. but this one, as you can see here it displays an album, and every album in that list of the albums we display an image, which is basically the album.image, and the title of the album and the artist of that album. As you can see, this, for example, you have Whispers in the Dark by The Weeknd, for example. Okay, so if we can go back to the popular music, as you can see here, each and every one of these items, I enclose them inside an inkwell. So inkwell is a widget that you can use when you want to wrap another widget in a way that you can tap on it and add some functionality. So here the inkwell has an on tap. So inside that on tap, I use the navigator to direct us to the song screen. Okay, so when I tap on this one, for example, as you can see, we are directed to the song screen. Okay, and most importantly, as you can see, there is that animation. There is an image animates to this big one here. I'm going to show you that in a second. But basically, when we click on that, we are directed to the song screen. So if I can open the song screen, so this is the song screen over here. So this player is for these ones, but I'm going to explain that when we get there. But basically, it has an up bar. So this is the up bar here with the music and also the action. And the actions here, and the actions there is just a container that has an icon of info outline inside of it. Okay, but after that we have a single child scroll view. A single child scroll view is used to give scrolling functionality in a screen like this one. So inside of it we have this column, and the first element of that column is a row, and that row basically displays this text here and also this text over there. But most importantly, I want to come here to this stack. So a stack is a widget that allows you to place widgets over other widgets. Okay, so the first element of that stack was a container. It was that container at the bottom, and that container has height of 300, and it has a child, and the child is widget.song.thumbnail. So basically this image that you see here. Okay, I also use the positioned widget to position a container with a child that is an icon that is bookmark add outlined. So it's basically this one. Okay, and I use the same positioned widget to place this container with the favorite icon inside of it. Okay, and the favorite icon is of color red. Okay, I also use another positioned widget to display the number of views that song has, and also the day it was released. I also created another container, that was this container that you see, this black container here, which has a column, and the first one is an elevated button with the lyrics. Another widget, the text widget, to display the lyrics of that song. Okay, so I place all of them. So this here, and the slider and this row, I place them inside of a column, and the first element of a column was this text. So this text 00 and this one here, they came first in that column, and then the slider. Okay, and lastly these icon buttons here. Okay, so to be able to play an audio, you need the audio players package that I showed at the beginning of this audio players package. You need to add this audio players package inside the pubspec.yaml file, and of course run pub.get. Okay, so once you add that package, let me scroll at the top, you need to initialize that player. Okay, like I have done here. To be able to play the audio, you now need to create these methods: play audio, pause audio, and stop the audio. So to play the audio, you just need first to provide the path of the audio, or the location of the audio. And what we have here is the widget.song.audio. So this basically returns a string, the location of this audio inside the assets folder. Okay, And by using the player.play, which takes asset source, and you pass that string, it's going to play the audio. Okay, so by doing that, and then now when I come here to this button, the play button, as you can see, it calls that method to play the audio. So when I click on this, it starts playing that audio. Okay, and I can click on this to pause. So the method for pausing, you just use player.pause, and for stop is just player.stop. It's that simple. So the next thing is to update this slider here. As you can see, this slider, it is updating as the audio plays. Okay, so and inside here I created these two variables, current position and total duration, and inside the init state I used player.onPositionChanged to update the value of these variables, so for the current position and for the total duration. Okay, so if I can scroll at the bottom, you can see this slider. First of all, it takes a value. Okay, so this value is the current position in seconds.double, and it also takes a minimum value. It has to be a minimum value here, and it also takes a maximum value. So that is how I can be able to update the value of this slider. So the last screen that I created is the album screen. So this is the album screen here. So when I click on an album like this one, we get this album screen. And what this basically does is that first of all, it has that up bar, and it displays an image, the image of the album. Also displays the artist and also the name of the album using the position widgets here. Okay, so next one was now to display this list of songs here. Okay, and to do that, I used a list view builder, and in every item on the song, I return a music item. So inside the widgets, I created a music item. So this music item takes a song, okay, and it is basically a card. The child of this card is a list style. So the list style is a special widget that has the leading, a title, a subtitle, and also a trailing. Okay, so the leading, I just wanted to have a container with an image inside of it, and then the title was the song title. The subtitle was the release date. There was the artist and also the release date. And the trailing was just a container with an icon play arrow, okay, inside of it. Let us turn our attention to the icon button here. As you can see, first we have ref.read audio file provider.notifier.state is equals to song.audio. So this kind of functionality here, we get it through the Riverpod package. So I installed the Riverpod package I told you earlier, and I created this folder called providers. The first one is audio file provider. So this audio file provider just returns a string. It's just a state provider that returns a string. And with the providers, you can be able to get a value, okay, and you can also be able to set a value that you can use somewhere else in the app. And that is what is happening here. So here, because as you can see here, by default, it is a nullable string, and by default it returns a null. It returns a null. Okay. So by doing this, I ensure that now this provider, it's going to return a string, and that string is this particular string, the song.audio string. Okay. And this, remember, gives the path to the location of the audio inside of the assets folder. Okay, let me open the audio player provider. So this basically is a state notifier, and inside here you can set some of the methods that you can that can trigger some actions in the application. Okay, this state notifier, first of all, it takes this audio player, okay, and the initial value is the player state.initial. So if I can just scroll down here, we have this player state. This player state, it has is playing the boolean, is paused, is stop, has error, current position, and total duration. And it has the initial. So the initial is when all of those are false, so it is not playing, the song is not paused, etc. This is just a boolean to find whether the state is initial, whether all of them are false. And a copy with. So a copy with is this is a special kind of method that you can use to alter some variables while also maintaining the state of the other variables. First of all, I created this play audio method, okay, that takes a string URL and update the state to playing is true, and use the audio player to play the audio by providing it the URL of the audio, okay, by using the asset source. Okay, so if I was loading this from the network, I could have used a URL source here, okay, but because all of these are assets in the application, I use asset source. Okay, so also is also the post audio. I use audio player.post, and I also update the state accordingly. Also for the state, the stop audio, cancel player. So when I click on the cancel button that you'll see, I set the state to audio player state.initial. Okay, and finally you have to dispose the audio player. So I stop it first and then I dispose it. So these ones, the on position changed and on duration changed, these are the same ones that I used inside the song screen here basically, so to update the location of the slider. So that is what these two methods here do. So that was basically the audio player provider. So inside the music item, so when I click on the music, so the music starts playing like that. Okay, so here, as you can see, if the audio state dot is initial, I do not show anything. Okay, so to demonstrate this, if I click on this X, that calls the cancel. So that calls the cancel player, which returns the audio state to initial. Okay, so, and remember, when the state is initial, none of them are happening. None of them is happening. We don't have a music playing, or it's not posted. None of those are happening. Okay, but when I click on this, we get that once again. Okay, all right. So the slider gets the value. Then the value has to be between 0 and 1, and the value updates when the audio is playing here. See, as you can see, the current position and also the total duration. Okay, so that was basically it. I know I have just rushed through it, but if you'd like me to create this from the beginning to the end, and also how to use the Riverpod package to manage the state of your application, be sure to comment on the video. Anyway, if you also have any project that you'd like me to do for you, or a project that you'd like me to collaborate with you, be sure to contact me with the details provided in the description of this video, and you can also text me on WhatsApp. I also have my WhatsApp number at the description. Anyway, have a good day, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.